Hi friends, this is Sasi Sekhar Misra, and as in my previous presentation also I discussed about the cement squeeze job in the well. Now in this presentation I am going to take the topic of well perforation, and it is a very important topic, and here I am going to cover the perforation of well under balance through TCP. So perforation is a process in which we make a hole in the casing through the cement and the tunnels in the pay zone. And this perforation is done to make communication between the pay zone and the wellbore. And there are many ways of doing the perforation that can be done under balance, over balance, and also and the perforation and flow index depends on the type of hole, the size of hole, the purpose of the making hole. Also the size of hole depend on the objective of the making hole, and depth of the penetration. So there are applications of perforation in the wells are as follows. First is to put well on the production. It can be achieved in the two way. First, by running the completion with the completion jewelries, and then later perforate the well, which can be done through tubing, or if it can be done also if the completion is run on the TCP with shoot and drop, then later also the well can be perforated with the shoot and drop TCP system. Other way of doing the perforation is in case of new completion is done by TCP gun with shoot and pull. So this then comes another application of this perforation is to increase the flow index near well bore. Suppose the well having the well is flowing for a long time, and there is a due to clay and other debris deposition near the well bore, the perforation tunnels and all this get clogged. So that can hamper the production and increase in the skin. So that can be overcome by re-perforating the same zone with the perforation gun. Again, another application is to increase the perforation density. This is also done to increase the flow index of the well. This suppose the well having the 5 SPF of the production, the 5 SPF of the density, then that can be increased to 10 SPF. Then comes suppose zone A, we are producing from the zone A and we want to add another zone in the same completion. Then we do the perforation to add the additional zone, and this can be achieved by doing the perforation in the additional zone, or we do the perforation in the zone transfer. Suppose the previous zone which we are producing, and we have isolated that one and want to add a new zone. In that case also we need to do the additional zone perforation. Then suppose a completion is in open hole with the sand screen to control the sand, and with the time the sand screen has clogged and it is not, we are not able to clean it and it's hampering the production. In that case also we make a holes in the sand screen by sacrificing the sand screen itself to for having the production. Then it is also used in the making holes in the case in the tubing uh, for the circulation. Suppose the SSD or SSD, we are not able to open the SSD and we want to weld the keel for circulation or any for AC treatment or any other thing. In that case we make a hole in the tubing to achieve that objective. And it is also used for making cut in the tubular like power cutter. Here we'll discuss about the perforation on the by the jet charge. So there are many way of doing the perforation like bullet, jet and the hydraulic. So jet perforation is carried out with charge. The charge has a main component of outer casing, primary charge, main explosive and the liner. So in the process of jet perforation, when it is triggered with the either by electrical signal or by hydraulic firing with the hydraulic firing head, the primer get the primer explosive, the chain reaction starts in which the primer explosive, then the main explosive uh, burn, and then the liner get deformed, and the deformation of liner cause the jetting effect with the sludge, and this jet produces the speed of 2000 feet per second at the pressure of 5 million psi, and which is enough to make hole in the casing and the tunnels in the perforation through the cement. And there are many factors which affect the quality of perforation. The first comes itself the charge material. So when the liner gets deformed and after deformation it produces it produces jet, and due to this it's caused the formation of sludge, and this sludge itself gets plugged into the formation itself in the tunnel, and which causing the reduction in the permeability of the rock or the perforation formation itself, and this can be reduced by using a modified or powdered base metal with metal cones which large which doesn't produce the residue of the metal. Then comes the fluid under which the perforation is being done. So if we perforate with the clean water or oil, it is a oil, then it having the better flow index after the perforation than the mud. Mud based perforation causes plugging of perforation and need to clean out later to make it flow. Then comes the compressive strength of formation and also the strength of cement and casing. So the jet penetrates deeper with less compressive strength of the casing and cement and the formation. So with the increase in the strength, the jet penetration reduces. Then comes the gun clearance. So when we run the gun in the well, so it is not always in the center or equidistance from all sides of the casing. So if there is suppose the gun is touching to the casing, in that case there is a zero clearance, and at that point it will have the maximum penetration, but at the same time it is far away from the other side, so where the penetration will be poor. So ideally it should be a 0 to 0.5 inch clearance. So it is with the TCP we achieve we have a less clearance and have a good penetration compared to the through tubing gun. Then also the pressure and temperature having the influence on the perforation. So if there is a higher temperature, then we have to go with the different uh, charges that is designed for the higher temperature, and the higher temperature for charges provide less penetration, and it is also less having the less sensitivity, which increases the chance of more misfire. Then comes the type of charges. There are many types of charges like RDX, HMX, and with the depth of well, where the temperature increases, we go for HMX or PS charges, where RDX cannot give the good result. Another factor also depends on whether we are doing the perforation over balance or the under balance. In the under balance, if we perforate, the immediate the well start flow, which is quite effective in dislodging the debris of the charges, then the loose the crust formation bands and all this dislodge, and so it having the good performance of the flow due to none than the overbalance formation. Initially, perforation was carried out with the bullet, but with the development of penetrating explosive safe charge, now the perforation is mainly carried out by jet perforation, and we can carry out perforation by two ways, on wire line or tubing conveyed perforation. And wireline perforation in is can be done in casing or through tubing also. And tubing conveyed perforation is done having two types, shoot and drop and shoot and pull. So if the plan is to do the perforation shoot and drop, and there's enough room for the gun to be dropped in the sump, we go for the TCP shoot and shoot and drop, and that advantage is that in that case we directly perforate the well under balance and immediately put on the production. And in shoot and drop, this is an advantage, but in shoot and pull we have to, after perforation we have to kill the well, and after killing we run the completion and later put on the production, which is initially damage the flow index of the well due to the killing after the perforation. So this TCP having the more advantage also, and it can be used in overbalance perforation. Now we will compare the wireline perforation against TCP. So wireline perforation is fast and it can be carried out on the flowing well. So, but in the TCP we required a workover rig where we have to take out the completion string, then perforate, and this more time consuming and more cost involved, at the same time also formation damaging due to the here we have to kill the well, so we have also loss of production. But there are other advantages of TCP which we see in the next point. While in the wireline we cannot go for bigger OD gun because of the weight constraint on the wireline, and even suppose we are doing with the in the casing without through tubing, it's difficult to run heavy gun of the longer length of bigger OD. But in TCP we run a bigger OD gun which gives a minimum clearance, so good penetration and good flow index. It is not suitable for long intervals because of the limitation of the length of gun and the PC. Because if we go for one run, if we increase the length of gun, equally we need the length. We have to increase the length of PC, and so in that case we have to make the number of run, which is more time consuming, and is also not suitable for highly deviated sections, something more than 60, 65, say some more than 70 degree. But then TCP we can go for the long intervals and for the highly deviated section, and here we have also better control on the orientation of the gun, so it is suitable for horizontal wells. Then the next point is the well killing or control issue. So if the wireline is being done on through the tree itself, then it's okay. But if we are doing through on the BOP, the wireline perforation, suppose some abnormalities happens and the well is still having the flow, and then it becomes difficult to control or killing of such well, because there is a new tubular in the well, and so here only we can kill by the volumetric method. But if with the TCP, if we are perforating with the BOP, so if there is any well flow or activity, we can We can kill whale easily by following whale control methods, because it having the spring to the bottom, and we can easily kill and circulate whale uh, through the potted debris sub of the TCP. We can, in the wireline, we can have only phasing of 0 and 180 degree, but in the TCP we can achieve the phase like for 0, 90, 120, whatever the phase we want, we can achieve because of it having the bigger OD. So TCP is having the more cost involved, but if the interval is long and we want a good penetration, so it will, and the whale control accepted some pressure and whale control is there, then TCP, and for the deviated section also, the TCP is the best option against the wireline. So tubing conveyed perforation. It is carried out when we have to perforate long deviated with bigger charge to perforate a new zone or re-perforate additional perforation of existing zone. Normally new zones are perforated under balance and existing zone over balance. For TCP job we need a workover rig, and here I am going to discuss on TCP under balance for. So before perforation we have to prepare the well for the perforation. So in the new well, drilled well, usually the well is filled with the mud, and this mud is normally not suitable for the perforation because of lot of fines in the mud that will damage the formation or may clog the tunnels after the perforation. So in that, first we will proceed with the preparation, and in that well preparation we run the wellbore clean out assembly, mainly having the scraper, and in the zone of perforation, in case of the perforation zone, we scrap the casing multiple to clean that part, and once the well is scrapped, then at the once it bottom, and this is done also to confirm that whether the well is, the bottom of the well is filled to the design or as per program. So once the well bore has been done to the bottom, we displace mud with the water till we get a good NTU that is normally less than the 30, and once we have the clean return water, then we displace well with the kill weight brine, and that is also filtered to 2 microns. After that we have to see with how is the bondage of the cement behind the casing, and to do we run the CVL VDL log to check the quality of cement behind the production casing, mainly across to the page zone, to ensure that there should not be any channeling behind the casing, and the strength of the cement should be such that it can withstand the shocks of the perforation, and there should not be a channeling post the perforation. Based on the loaded and blank section to be perforated in the formation, the gun schematic are prepared, and accordingly we load the charges in the strip, and then the primer cord is connected with the strip. So once the strip is ready, we put into the hollow carrier, that is called gun, and between guns the boosters are placed for the continuity of the primer cord or the explosive charge between the guns. Then we prepare the firing head. In that preparation of firing head, we put explosive, and the pin is also, the shear pin is also installed in that, and that pin rating is decided on the basis of the pressure that we are going to apply for this firing. And the last gun is called special gun, which is of minimum 10 feet length, and it is kept above the loaded gun, because when we are making a firing head at the rotary table or rig floor, and if accidentally something goes wrong, and the gun gets fired, so no one should get injured on the rig floor because of the accidental firing. Now pick up the gun with the help of fork and the crane, and we have to take all the care while handling the gun. It should not touch or hit any hard body, and then we run the gun with the slow speed, and after running all the guns, then we make up the firing head, ported debris sub, RA marker sub, RTTS packer with the circulating hull and the drill pipe to the surface. So the function of ported debris sub is which allows any debris of the pipe that falls below should not go to the firing head. So there is a glass placed which allow the debris to fall into the annulus. Then RA marker sub used for position lock for placing gun on depth. RTTS packer with circulating hull, packer for isolating the annulus with drill pipe, and the circulating hull is used for circulate the drill pipe, and circulating hull is used for circulating wheel between annulus and drill pipe. In combination, used to create underbalance and whale killing. So now continue the running of TCP assembly to the target depth, and with the wire line conduct the correlation lock with respect to casing tip tag and the RA marker sub. And while installing RA marker sub, we should ensure that it should be 10 meters away from the ported debris sub, because as we run the log, the gamma tool has to go below to the RA sub, so there must be room for accommodating that gamma tool. And in that we also ensure that RA sub should not be too far away from the casing tip tag for more accuracy. Then after once our correlation log done, and whatever the correction factor coming, we keep the gun on the depth based on the correlation log. So once gun is placed on depth, we will now set the RTTS packer, close BOP, and pressure test to annulus to confirm that the packer has been set. Now we'll pick up the string 3 to 4 inch above the slack weight to open the circulating valve. Now here we have to create the underbalance. To create the underbalance in tubing side or drill pipe side, we displace drill pipe volume with the diesel or base wire to create underbalance. So once it is displaced, we close the slack weight of the string and close the CV, and again pressure test the annulus to ensure that the CV is closed. Once sieve is closed, then line up drill pipe with the high pressure pump and pressurize the string to the required firing pressure. Means here the surface pressure. There is calculation based on the well fluid and the rating of the pin, and all this then with the factor of safety we decide the firing pressure. And after once we achieve the firing pressure, in this we pressurize to the drill pipe, and this drill pipe is open to the annulus below the packer to the potted debris sub, and this firing head get energized with the annulus pressure. So there is a delay time, normally 6 to 7 minutes, wherein we get time to bleed off the applied pressure and line up the well to the flow tank through the choke and separator. So once it passes the 6 to 7 minutes, a jerk will be observed at the surface after firing. If the sometimes the charge is very small, the jerk cannot be noticed. So then we line up and we will make a well flow to 1 to 2 drill pipe volume just to knock out the debris of the perforation and the charge. And after knockout completed, now then we line up mud pump with the brine tank and open circulating valve and start the well filling. Once well is filled, stabilized, we check for the losses, and after initial monitoring we go for the pull out and lay down of the spade gun. So while laying down, we check the charges of all charges are fired or not. Thank you, friends, and it is a nice that patiently you have listened and gone through my presentation. Now I would request you to subscribe the YouTube channel and give your comment, and also not to forget about to give the like also. Thank you again.